today, wow, we're diving into something huge. I mean, this unprecedented transformation happening right now in tech. It's all driven by AI, large language models, Gen AI, you name it. And it's this dynamic shift, right? The traditional IT roles, they're just not static anymore. Have you ever wondered, like, what happened to the classic web developer role? Or, what does a Gen AI engineer actually do all day? Well, our mission here is to give you that shortcut. We want you to understand how these roles are evolving, what skills are suddenly in demand, and how AI is getting woven, like, directly into applications. Expect some surprises, maybe a few moments along the way.
Yeah, and it's really important to grasp that this isn't just slapping new titles on things. It's a fundamental change. It's about how software gets built, how problems get solved, how knowledge is even applied in IT. It really changes the why it matters for developers and engineers.
Okay, let's unpack that. First big shift then. Roles we thought we knew. The web developer. How has that really changed?
Well, traditionally, web developers built websites. Static, dynamic. They used HTML, CSS, JavaScript frameworks, React, Angular, Vue, that sort of thing. Interacting with REST APIs, standard databases, mostly focus on UI, UX, making things look good and work on different devices.
Right, the responsive design focus. So now are we talking web interfaces that kind of predict what you need, auto-suggestions, dynamic content? What's the big leap?
Precisely. That's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
The web developer now is building intelligent web interfaces. They integrate seamlessly with LLMs, with AI services via APIs. Think about things like auto-suggestion, sure, but also really personalized content recommendations, predicting user behavior in real time, even generating content dynamically.
Like generating marketing copy on the fly, or summarizing articles right in the browser.
Exactly, and creating UIs that support sophisticated conversational agents. Chatbots, voice assistants, embedded right there. And that means their full stack skills have to expand, right? They need to understand AI model deployment, AI, API integration patterns, managing that whole AI inference lifecycle.
It's like you said, a broader landscape. I'm picturing it visually, like the source image showed. Left side, traditional code, HTML, CSS. Right side, a modern UI, but with a chatbot responding, or AI-generated text just appearing. That's the shift.
That's a great way to visualize it. It captures the essence.
Okay, moving on from the web, let's talk desktop apps. This is where it gets really interesting for people working on internal tools, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. The desktop developer role has seen a significant pivot. Before, it was very OS specific, right? Windows, Linux, Mac OS.
Yeah.
Using UI frameworks like WPF, Electron, Qt, maybe Swift Cocoa, dealing with local data storage, hardware interaction.
Yeah.
Often standalone apps.
But now you mentioned agentic workflows. That sounds advanced. Like you can just tell your system in plain English, summarize last week's reports, and draft an email to the team, and it does it.
That's exactly the kind of capability we're talking about. Designing sophisticated, often agentic workflows, especially for internal business tools. Embedding automated task execution based on natural language input is becoming key. This includes supporting offline-first AI agents for enterprise desktop tools. Think intelligent data processing, report generation, complex multi-step automations running locally.
Wow. So like that other image, a desktop screen, but with these complex workflow arrows connecting different software icons, and right in the middle, an LLM icon driving it all.
Yeah, making the desktop feel like it's proactively assisting you. It's powerful stuff.
On our phones. I mean, they're practically glued to our hands. How's the app developer role keeping up with AI?
Mobile dev used to be quite specialized. Native Android with Kotlin or Java, iOS with Swift or Objective-C. Big focus on mobile UI UX, using sensors like GPS and the camera, App Store deployment details.
Okay, and the now. Are we seeing things like real-time voice-to-text, those AI chatbots popping up in apps, maybe even generating images on demand, all on the phone?
We are, absolutely. Integrating cutting-edge Gen AI features directly into the mobile experience.
Yeah.
Real-time voice-to-text, interactive AI bots, on-demand image generation, dynamic translation. It's all happening. And a really key concept here is on-device inference, edge AI.
Running the AI on the phone itself, not always calling out to the cloud.
Exactly. Running smaller, optimized AI models directly on the device. This cuts down latency, it's better for privacy, less reliant on constant connectivity. So developers are designing apps that use voice naturally or have adaptive interfaces personalized by multimodal input voice, image, text, whatever the user provides.
So picture your phone screen. You're talking to a voice assistant in one app, another app generates an image from your text, the camera is using AI, all seamless.
That's the goal, yeah. A multimodal, intelligent experience in your pocket.
Let's shift gears a bit. Blockchain. It feels niche to some, but crucial. How does a blockchain developer fit into this AI world? seems almost opposite. Decentralized versus centralized AI.
It's an interesting intersection for sure. Traditionally, blockchain devs focused on dApps, smart contracts, distributed ledgers like Ethereum, Hyperledger. The core concerns were decentralization, immutability, transparency, trust through code.
Right. So how does that foundation apply now? You mentioned data integrity, provenance, audit trails for AI pipelines, securing inputs and outputs.
Precisely. The focus broadens. It's about ensuring data integrity, tracking where data came from provenance, and having auditable trails within these complex AI systems. They're using cryptographic methods, decentralized identifiers, things like that to secure the flow of data into and out of AI models, building trust.
So using blockchain to audit AI decisions, especially in high-stakes areas like finance or healthcare.
Exactly. Applying DLT to validate AI model decisions is becoming vital there. Also, developing solutions for verifiable AI outputs, managing consent for training data using blockchain, even creating tokenized incentives for data sharing in federated learning.
Okay, so the image analogy here is like blockchain blocks securing a data pipeline, feeding an AI model, with the big lock icon symbolizing that trust and integrity.
That captures it well, building trust into the AI process itself.
Now, the AI developer, they sound like they were already there, right? But even their role is evolving fast. What's changing for them?
Yeah, you'd think they have it figured out, but the ground is shifting under them too. Before, maybe they were focused on training traditional ML models, classification, regression, using scikit-learn, TensorFlow, PyTorch. A lot of focus on model selection, tweaking hyperparameters, measuring things like accuracy, precision, recall.
Okay, standard ML stuff. But now it's less about just one model and more about entire systems built around LLMs. Orchestration, feedback loops. Is prompt engineering the new focus?
It's a huge part of it. The role is shifting towards building entire applications centered around LLM orchestration, fine-tuning, and crucially robust feedback loops. So yes, advanced prompt engineering is vital, but also designing multi-agent systems, establishing comprehensive evaluation systems for what the LLM produces. And a big piece is creating those essential safety, compliance, and explainability layers on top of the LLM outputs.
Safety layers, okay. And you mentioned RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation.
Right. RAG is critical. Understanding how to integrate external, up-to-date knowledge bases so the LLM isn't just making things up or relying solely on its training data. It's about grounding their responses in facts. This role is becoming much more about system-level thinking performance, scalability, integration into the wider enterprise architecture.
So that system diagram image, a central LLM, but surrounded by all these connected modules. Prompt engineering, safety guards, evaluation, external tools, a whole ecosystem.
Exactly. They're architecting the whole intelligence system now.
Which brings us to maybe the newest role, the GenAI developer. It's new, but already changing. What was the before here, if it even existed long?
Well, the before was really the early days, just a short while ago. It was very experimental, R&D focused, exploring new generative models, playing with open source stuff, basic prompt tweaking in playgrounds, often just looking at the quality of one output.
Right, more like exploration. And now, the modern GenAI engineer, or this AI plus human workflow designer idea, they're not just coding, they're architecting whole systems to change how businesses work. Balancing prompts, safety, all of it.
That's the heart of it. They're architects of holistic end-to-end intelligence systems, using LLMs and GenAI to fundamentally enhance enterprise workflows and processes. It's this constant balancing act. Sophisticated prompt engineering, yes, but also robust retrieval, using Arago, complex orchestration of maybe multiple AI calls and tools, and absolutely critical safety mechanisms, mitigating hallucinations, detecting bias, ethical AI considerations.
That sounds like a massive skill set.
It is. Deep LLM expertise architectures, limitations, fine-tuning, proficiency in the tool chains like LangChain, Llama Index, or knowing the big APIs, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google Gemini. Plus, strong back-end architecture skills, fast API, gRPC, event-driven systems. And then data engineering for AI, system integration, and crucially, deep collaboration, talking to business folks, product managers, other engineers. They're weaving AI into the company's fabric.
Okay, so that image of someone at a desk using GenAI, but with lines connecting out to business graphs, human collaborators, that really symbolizes that integrated AI plus human process.
Precisely. It's about augmenting human capability within the business context.
And finally, let's zoom in on the prompt engineer, a role that exploded out of nowhere. How's that maturing? It's not just fiddling with words anymore, is it?
Definitely not just fiddling. Initially, yeah, it was more experimental, often manual, crafting individual prompts, trying to get a specific output, looking at the immediate result.
But now it's about designing scalable, robust prompt systems for actual products, using things like A/B testing and automated evaluation pipelines for prompts.
Exactly. It's professionalized. It's about designing entire prompt systems, not just one-off prompts. That means rigorous methods. A/B testing, different prompt strategies, building in human-in-the-loop feedback, automated evaluation to see which prompts perform best consistently. They're embedding prompt logic deep inside applications, maybe as part of complex chains or multi-agent systems.
So they need to understand the nuts and bolts of the LLMs too, like temperature, top.
Deep understanding of parameters like temperature, top to control creativity.
Yeah.
Understanding system roles, few-shot prompting, advanced techniques like chain of thought for complex reasoning. It requires this really interesting blend of like linguistic intuition, sharp logical thinking, and solid system design principles.
So that last image, a text field, but the prompt is complex, structured, crafted, little gears and logic symbols around it. It's engineered language.
Engineered language is a good way to put it. Very intentional.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the big theme seems to be that generative AI's impact means engineers can't just stay in narrow lanes anymore.
That's right. They're increasingly expected to lead cross-functional AI product development, work with product, UX, data science. They need to implement enterprise-safe, scalable Gen AI tools. That means thinking about security, compliance, performance at scale. It's this constant juggling act. Business logic, infrastructure needs, the user experience, and the often unpredictable behavior of AI models. It's a huge challenge.
It really demands that holistic view, doesn't it? Deep back-end skills, understanding the AI's limits and potential, focusing on the user, and thinking strategically about the business. Like you said, you're not just coding anymore. You're architecting reasoning systems, shaping how businesses run, how we all interact with tech. What an incredible journey we've covered, seeing how these roles have transformed from web dev to this AI plus human workflow design.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? So maybe a final thought for you listening. As AI keeps advancing, how do you see your own skills evolving? And what new hybrid roles can you imagine emerging next? Roles that demand this kind of multidisciplinary thinking. Something to chew on.
It's definitely something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the future of tech roles. We hope you feel better informed and ready to keep exploring.